Hello there, my name is Pasquale and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now in this video I have something in store for you, some incredible data, some incredible on-chain analysis right here. So we're gonna go through all of it and also something right here and then most important stuff right here and right here. So if you're into Bitcoin, if you're into longing or shorting Bitcoin, or if you're a long-term Bitcoin hodler, then this video is certainly for you. And as always, and I'm gonna also talk about the current big price movement that is coming, and also I'm preparing for a trade which I'm gonna show you as well. So we're gonna take a look at the short-term perspective as well as the long-term perspective, and I've done a lot of research for this video, so you really want to watch it. This is gonna be probably one of the best YouTube videos on Bitcoin today, so you really want to watch it. And without any further ado, hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so that you're notified when I make a new upload, because you will have to watch these from the beginning and until the end to get any value out of them, and also you have to watch them as soon as they come out. So for that reason, by the way, join my free Telegram channel, which is down in the description of this video. It's free and we have a big community of traders, a lot of cool discussions and a lot of useful stuff that I post a lot faster than I can post here. So yes, on YouTube. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. Okay, and please let me know down in the comments, guys and girls, if you want me to do a Luna update video today, because there is some update in their plan since yesterday. So it's like all changing so fast, it's ridiculous. So let me know if I should do a video on Luna right now. And after this video, maybe in a few hours, let me know. And also leave me a like. Let's get to 2,000 likes on this video. And some say that when you're starting to like the videos of Thomas Frollo, your financial situation starts to improve. So yeah, all right, let's become serious and let's talk about this. So currently we are still bouncing around the region of $30,000, and a lot of people are saying that we are on the way to 10,000, 15,000, and most importantly, some say that it's $20,000 that is going to be the bottom, which is possible, even though some argue that we've already seen the capitulation. When we're going to take a look at the volume in this area, that this certainly was some kind of a capitulation, and the on-chain data, which I'm going to show you today in this video, is going to actually support the narrative that this has been the capitulation. But nonetheless, I really want to show you a few things that are a bit of a hopium in this instance, and that could actually drive the price up a little bit. But I want to show you the potential catalyst for the current direction of Bitcoin, which is going to be on the 27th of May, and we're going to talk about it shortly. So in this instance, if we're going to go to a smaller time frame, for example 1 hour time frame, then we're going to see that we are currently right here are forming right at $30,000. This is just a historic moment. We are forming just simply a beautiful wedge right here with defined support and resistance. So, and as you remember, they potentially break either upward or downward, and in this instance, I mean, it's always very difficult to predict in which direction it's gonna break unless you really know, what's gonna happen in terms of the macroeconomics, or there's gonna be some catalyst event, which we're gonna talk about in this video. Then you can have the better probability of predicting it. But nonetheless, us as active traders, and this is the trade that I'm entertaining right now, us as traders, we have to entertain both possibilities, right? So if it's gonna break above, trade long it. If it's gonna break below, short it. As simple as that, with proper risk and money management, 5-to-1. So with 30% accuracy rate, you'll make good money overall in a long-term perspective. So with the target of this wedge right here, just for a short-term trade, once we break, and I think we're gonna break it very soon, because it cannot just keep consolidating eternally. So for that reason, I think that the target, if we're gonna break above, the target could be around $34,000, just to be a bit modest, right? So that we are careful, we are not, expecting too much, and potentially if we're gonna break above, we might revisit $36,000 in the short-term perspective. Because again, of the things that I'm about to mention in this video, there might be some bullish narrative, but only for short-term perspective. Don't expect huge moves. And of course, the same concept can be, the same trades, and the same concept goes for the potential short trade right here. If we're gonna break below, and the target would be about $26,000, so close to our all-time local low right here at 25,500. So also could be a nice trade, to be honest. And where am I gonna put my trade in? And you've guessed it right, over on Bybit. It has been voted as the most transparent crypto exchange in 2021 in the world. So that's really awesome. With my exclusive link, which you can find down in the description of this video, or in the pinned comment, you'll get up to $4,100 in free bonuses of real cash that you can use for your derivatives trading, and also a 0% maker fees now for 30 days. So you're going to save yourself a lot of money on trading fees as well, which is insane. So use those bonuses down in the pinned comment or down in the description. And I think that this is also, their fees in general really low and their liquidity is very good. So for these kinds of scalp trades, it's awesome, and swing trades as well. And also for the spot market. So this is what I'm looking out for, and I'm going to just trade it technically, you know, because I honestly believe that the potential catalyst for our next major direction is going to come on the 27th of May. But before we talk about it, let's take a look at something that is giving us some hopium, and that is the dollar index, guys and girls. This is very, very important right now because, as you might remember, everybody expected it to reverse at 103, like we saw reversal. Let me just remove the indicators from here. So we had this reversal in this area, then we had big reversal also in this area, and everybody was expecting a huge reversal. But the dollar index slapped everyone in the face and kept climbing. But now we're seeing quite a massive sell-off, well, a massive move downward. And if we're going to go to a smaller time frame, then we're going to see that we've been pushed. We squeezed this 103.736 level very hard right here. We broke above, there was the impulse, and now we're being pushed back down. And we just came to retest this level once again and are moving down once again. So remember that the dollar index, when it's actually correcting, every time we've seen a correction in the dollar index, this has been incredibly bullish for Bitcoin. So if we're going to see this finally the beginning of the correction in the dollar index, it's going to be very, very bullish for Bitcoin. Now, so that's number one hopium scenario for the time being. Let's now take a look at other stuff I really wanted to show you, which is, again, I mean, it's not just hopium, it's just facts, right? But we have to take a look at it, and then we're going to discuss this important catalyst event that is going to happen on the 27th of May. So stick around. I know my videos are long, but they're jam-packed with information. So leave a like and watch it till the end. Now, very important to note is the Bitcoin exchange reserves on all exchanges. So as we can see with this whole momentum right here, the reserves on the exchanges is going down in terms of Bitcoin. So people are pulling it out, putting it into cold storage, and that's it. So it's the sign of hodling. And currently we're at the level of the previous breakout and the previous rally to the all-time high. So this is incredibly bullish, to be honest. Now, the next thing I really wanted to mention is this right here, which is going to be an interesting confirmation of the potential narrative of the current capitulation in the price that we've seen the volume in the weekly chart in Bitcoin right now. And this is the Bitcoin net transfer from and to exchanges and etc. So what we want to see here, let's not get into too much detail, but we want to see the spikes and see what correlates, what are the correlations with the spikes of this net transfer volume of Bitcoin. So, and we're going to see that we are seeing an insane spike right here just now with this capitulation potentially. And we have seen the same huge spike within the last 3 years right here, which is, take a look at it. It was basically in, what was it? Well, it was around April of 2020. And we've seen the same, I mean, the spike here is even bigger than in 2020. And this signaled the bottom. So this was the capitulation. And this is exactly where we started moving off in the upward direction. So this is a very good indicator. However, once again, the catalyst event is going to decide whether this signal is going to come to fruition or not. So stick around. Now, let's go take a look at this. Also very interesting, net realized profit and loss. We also had a huge spike in loss, obviously, here when people are capitulating and selling of their Bitcoin at a huge loss that they bought previously, thinking that they bought the bottom, and now capitulating, so a huge loss right here. And we've seen the same spikes in the losses, and usually those spikes correlated very well with the bottom. So the bottom being somewhere close, at least in the close proximity. So we're seeing this right here as well. Now the next thing, this is irrelevant. Okay, the next one is entity adjusted dormancy flow. And if you don't know what this is, please Google it. It's very simple and it's a very good indicator. And I mean, this is historical. This is the whole history of Bitcoin, guys and girls. And every time we've gone into the green zone and once we pushed above it, most of the time this was, the identification at the bottom. The dormancy flow indicator actually going, this orange one, actually going into the green zone right here. And look, we've been in the green zone for quite some time right now. And this is very bullish. So usually we actually pushed above real fast like we did in all these instances, except one, which was in 2011. I mean, it's like a gazillion years ago. So, and currently we're seeing similar situations. So this potentially is the bottom, guys and girls. Now, the next thing I really wanted to share with you, this is MVRV, and this is also very interesting, but it shows a similar thing to dormancy flow. Now, this is not something I wanted to show you here. This is what I really wanted to show, and this is the percent of supply last active 1+ years ago. So this is basically, it shows how much of Bitcoin is in the hodl state and how much of the Bitcoin is in the cold storage, not ready to move. I mean, it's always ready to move, but you know, it just shows exactly what is happening. And as we, for example, seen this peak right here, this peak was right, at this accumulation phase. So this is just signaling accumulation before the next move. And then as the move is happening, the big whales and the smart money and the smart people who know what they're doing and who have been the students of Thomas Krallo at thomaskrallo.com, by the way, all the links down in the description and in the pinned comment with some nice discounts for my certified and accredited trading learning programs. And here, as the smart money was distributing Bitcoin, of course, it was going down. So a lot of coins started to move to take the profits, etc. And we are seeing currently this increase in these types of coins again. So this is again, and we are going higher than previously in 2020, which is absolutely incredible. And this is also telling us that potentially in the near future, maybe within a year or so, whatever, I mean, nobody can predict the time frame unless you're gonna watch this video till the end and you'll know exactly what to expect. And yeah, so this is incredibly bullish as well. And finally, also the Bitcoin realized loss, and we have a huge spike in here as well. But it's very similar to what we've seen in this. No, not this one. In this one right here, so very similar, but nonetheless worth noting that we again are seeing huge spikes here, which again correlated very well with the Bitcoin bottom. Now the question is, everybody's saying, Thomas, you are so positive and you're so happy today and just enjoying life in general. Does it mean that Bitcoin is going to be going to the moon right now and in the next few weeks? And my answer to this question is, once again, I'm considering to take this short-term trade just to have a short-term benefit, either long or short, depending on what the market tells me to do. But what I'm really expecting is, again, as you might remember, as I told you before, that we're currently at the mercy of Federal Reserve. If they're going to start quantitative tightening with some kind of a different schedule with more rapid quantitative tightening, because maybe they're going to realize that what they're doing right now is not fighting inflation enough. So that's going to scare the markets, and we're going to then Bitcoin and all the high-risk assets, especially Bitcoin, is going to go down. And for that reason, guys and girls, we were watching this one right here. We were watching the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, which is a good measurement for the inflation. And in this instance, we got some mixed readings for the inflation in April, but it was still lower than in March. However, you know, what I was thinking is that maybe there is other readings and other sources of inflation reports that the Fed actually gives more weight to, and Jerome Powell. And actually, I did some rigorous research and I found that actually they don't really give that very much weight to CPI. They give more weight, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my research is quite good, that they give more weight actually, not to CPI, but to Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index. And this one also actually reports on the inflation, etc. And so basically, the next release will be on May 27th. And this, guys and girls, this report, which is going to contain the inflation figures, is what the Fed and Jerome Powell, that's what they're waiting for. And if they're going to see, and as he said as well, and you can research this yourself, as he said that they're really waiting for this report. And if this report is going to show bad figures, then potentially they're going to consider increasing the rates not to about 3% in the next 3 to 6 months, but perhaps to 4% in the next 9 to 12 months. So, and that is going to probably affect the markets very much. So in my opinion, if it's going to be very good news on May 27th that the inflation is going down with the measures, under having the measures that the Jerome Powell and the current Federal Reserve team has been implementing, then this could be a very good signal for Bitcoin and all the high-risk assets to actually finally have some breathing room and play around for a little bit until the next cycle. So this could technically be potentially the bottom, but don't leave yet. Very important piece of information, historical data right here. So it's important for us to understand that we're currently in the middle of the cycle. All these purple lines are our halving cycles, and we're currently in the middle. So as you might remember, that we are around the middle. We already found our bottom most of the time, and this instance right here as well. So around in the middle. So we are, and we are currently actually in the middle as well. So if yes, that's good. So if we're currently in the middle, then potentially it doesn't mean that even if the inflation figures are going to be, good, it doesn't mean we're going to go with a straight line to the all-time high. What I'm thinking, as mentioned in the previous video, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out, and also check out my full Bybit tutorial, by the way, very useful for leverage trading, etc., and how to use it properly. Now, I think that we're going to still do something around here before we actually get a takeoff, as I mentioned. But what is most important for us is to understand where to accumulate Bitcoin. And if we've seen this capitulation here in Max Pain, which probably isn't Max Pain, but nonetheless, then this could be this region of 30K, and below 30K would be the best place to accumulate Bitcoin for a long-term perspective. So let me know down in the comments if you've enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, make some noise, and like the video, and if you want dislike it, and just enjoy this content. Stay smart, stay rich, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.